the little girl heard that the plane's left wing had already exploded, and that the cockpit window was about to shatter. She concluded that the plane was going to crash. The passengers all thought she was talking nonsense, but she had no time to explain. She quickly rushed toward the cockpit with her mother. They saw the first officer with half his body outside the window. Only then did everyone realize the danger. Her mother and the flight attendants hurried to pull the first officer back. The little girl took the opportunity to sit in the captain's seat. She first cut off the fuel supply to the plane's left engine. Then she discharged the fire extinguisher. She carried out a series of professional maneuvers. The flames on the plane's left wing were instantly extinguished. The flight attendants accused the little girl of causing trouble, but the captain saw that her actions were all correct. Now saving the plane could only rely on the little girl, because the pressure difference inside the plane was too great. They had to adjust the left bank angle to relieve it. The little girl began adjusting the control console. She searched for the correct angle to reduce the pressure. At the same time, the control tower received the distress signal that the captain had just sent. Staff immediately attempted to establish contact with the plane. The girl adjusted the angle of the left wing. This caused the cabin pressure to drop significantly. The passenger doors also stabilized. After the pressure decreased, the first officer was pulled back into the cockpit. Everything returned to normal. At that moment, the tower established contact with the captain. Everyone finally breathed a sigh of relief. But what puzzled them was the sound of a little girl's voice coming from the cockpit. Before they could respond, the controller discovered a new danger. Namely, because the plane had been left unattended for a long time, it had seriously deviated from its planned route and its altitude overlapped with another aircraft. So he ordered an emergency landing. After the plane landed smoothly, a top student suddenly ran into the cockpit. He tried to stop the girl from continuing to operate recklessly and endangering others. He believed that a child could not possibly know how to fly a plane. The young man's mother boasted that her son was a top student at an aerospace university. She suggested letting her son fly the plane, saying he would be better than the little girl. Because of their interference, the tower again lost contact with the plane. At this moment, there was less than 2 minutes remaining until the two aircraft would collide. So far, the collision alert had still not been sent. They did not know what to do. Fortunately, relying on her professional knowledge, the girl had already discovered that another aircraft was approaching head-on at the same altitude. Their speeds and headings meant a collision would happen very soon. This moment left everyone stunned with fear. At that moment, the captain's hands had lost all sensation and he could not operate the controls. Someone suggested that the young man go and operate the plane, but he had not learned emergency evasive maneuvers. The young man's mother began to worry. If no one knew how to fly the plane, they would be doomed. The little girl immediately put on a headset, ready to take control. At this time, only 50 seconds remained until the two planes would collide. Time was critical. She had to manually maneuver to avoid collision immediately, because the captain was injured and unable to operate, and the little girl was too weak. She asked her mother to help her steady the yoke. Her mother was somewhat worried, but when she saw her daughter's determined look, she took the headset and sat in the co-pilot's seat. Seeing this, the young man accused the mother and daughter of being crazy. There were 30 seconds remaining. So as not to interfere with the girl's operation, the captain instructed the flight attendants to remove non-essential personnel from the cockpit. At the same time, the controller discovered that if the plane yawed 10 degrees to the left, it could perfectly avoid the collision. But unfortunately, they still could not contact the plane. At that moment, there were only 20 seconds left until the two planes would collide. The flight attendants screamed loudly in fright.